G'day guys, Grant from Four Wheeling in New South Wales. So it's a couple of days after my birthday and a few days before Christmas, well, Christmas Eve, and I'm just putting a new battery in the car, a new deep cycle. So I went with an AGM. Anyone that might have watched this previous clip, which I'll link up here, I had issues with my previous batteries. Long story short, I got ripped off. Paid for 135 amp hour and it turned out they're only 20, so finally I'm replacing them. Now, why did I go with what I have? Well, I've gone AGM again for a couple of reasons. First of all, the cost. They're obviously cheaper than lithium, and secondly, and the main reason, is my charger won't charge lithium. It's only wet flooded or AGM, so it meant I would have had to buy a whole new charger as well, which is another $300 to $400 on top of $900 for a lithium battery. So I've gone AGM again. They work unreal. I wouldn't have had issues with my previous ones had they have been the right capacity. So anyway, why did I choose the brand I did? So I had a look around and there's a number of them on the market, but I ended up going with a Drifta. It's Drifta Stockton AGM Battery. So the main reason is Drifta's a very well-known brand, and I know Luke personally, and I know for a fact that if this battery did fail me for whatever reason, even outside a warranty period, I know Luke's the sort of person and company owner that would do his best to try and help fix the situation. So, full disclaimer, I have paid for this battery. It was $299. Luke did extend a Black Friday sale price, so I paid $220, I think it was, and $25 freight to get it from the Gosford store up on the Central Coast down to my house in Sydney. So I'll grab it out of the car. I ordered it on Thursday and I think it turned up to work on Tuesday, so really quick turnaround as well. So I'll grab it out. I've got a battery box in the back of the car already wired up to my existing dodgy battery, so I'll pull the old battery out and I'll put the new one in. Certainly straight up I knew that there's something wrong with these old batteries too, because the weight difference, they're so much lighter than they should be. This new AGM is the weight it should be. It's actually quite heavy, so I'll jump into it. Hopefully that wind is not too loud, but yeah, let's rip in. Cheers guys. Oh, it's definitely heavier than the old battery. G'day buddy, how are ya? Pardon? That's cool. That's awesome. Definitely some weight in that bugger, holy dooly. Alright, so 120 amp hours. Hopefully this will get me out of trouble. I'll be confidently able to run my camp lights, run my fridge. I've never been game to do that in the past because the battery's been a little bit hit and miss, so let's see how this one goes. We'll get it in, make sure it's 100% charged and see how we go. Alright, so I'll take this one off. So what we'll do, we'll just disconnect this cord, which is coming from the C-Tech charger. We'll disconnect that. I have got to tidy some more of this wiring up too. I sort of got it all in a while back and had intended to come back and tidy a few things up, but as you do, the weekends come and go. The year gets away. That's the fridge. So these battery boxes are really good with the Andersons on top. You've got obviously 2 ins or 2 outs. You've got an in and an out, whatever you like. That Anderson plug there runs the fridge coming off the battery, and then the other Anderson plug, if I ever want to plug in an extra solar panel or anything running off the battery, I can plug into that one as well, or you can run a compressor off it or another fridge, whatever you like. And there is a little voltmeter on the front here. You just hit that red button. It's showing 13.1 at the moment, so even though the volts are up on these 2 batteries, I was getting misled thinking the voltage was the only thing that would indicate whether it was dodgy or not. But as I found out, the capacity in the batteries being so low was why my fridge kept heating up. It was showing 15 and 18 degrees, even though I had 13 and 14 volts at times. The fella at the battery place I spoke to said, no, it's the amp hour capacity also, which if that's really low, which these 2 batteries obviously are because they're, then that plays into significance also. Now what I'll do, I'll just, to be safe, because I don't want any chance of sparking, I'll just pull this fuse out, and that way there's no possible way that that can bump anything. Always better to be safe than sorry. So that's my cords disconnected. this piece of junk, that'll go straight to the metal recycler. Yeah, that's an AGM power battery, so not much power in that bugger at all. And it feels about half the weight of the new Drifta one. And then the other piece that's in here, that can also come out. I'll just grab a spanner quickly. And a good rule of thumb always, if you do any electrical work, always disconnect the negative first and reconnect the negative last. Little tip is that if you happen to take your positive off and you bump it or anything like that, you've still got power going through and it can cause arcing, etc. So yeah, just even if you're jump starting cars, etc., it's always a good idea to put your positive on or red on first, your power, then your negative, and take your negative off first always. Alright, so it's that one disconnected. We'll lift it up and out. Thankfully, in a way, it's not as heavy as it should be because it'd be a bugger lifting it out of here. Holy durly. Alright, so that's the new one in. As I said, I've never been game to run much in the way of camp lights of a night, even LED strip lights and stuff, because I've always been super paranoid that the battery was not right and that I'd end up with hot food and hot drinks. So touch wood, this new battery should keep me going with lights and fridges and everything else. I must say a big shout out to my beautiful wife and 2 daughters who have heard me say various times throughout the year how much these batteries were doing my head in. And my birthday is December 2nd. My wife and 2 beautiful children who I love dearly all chipped in and paid for this battery on my behalf, so I'm super stoked at them. Just like to make a little note on there, obviously when and where I got it from, and that way at any time should I need, I've got it there always at a glance. So that came down from the store up there at Arimba, super quick delivery. So as to not jinx myself in any way, shape or form, I'm going to use the nuts and bolts that came with this new battery as well. So I really don't want anything remotely linking the new battery to the old, because the old batteries were just nothing but hassle. They're just a 10mm stainless steel bolt that come with them. That will go back on, spin that around, probably go down through the side, yes it will. Tighten those up. Now obviously there is probably a torque setting that they should go to. I don't have a torque wrench, but we'll just tighten them up and not go too overboard. And I'll tighten that one up underneath there as well a little bit, just to make sure that's nice and tight. Tighten all those up while I'm at it, just to be sure. So quick flick onto the battery. So we're at 12.5 volts. I have had this in the car for a couple of days because I've been battling the weather. It was either too hot to film or pouring rain over the last week. So yeah, I've had this just sitting in the car for a couple of days, as I said, but it looks pretty darn good to me. I'll get the lid back on like so. I do have to finish actually properly bolting this box down. I've got to put some like battery holders up through the floor just to be 100% safe with it. Put that through there. I've got solar panels up on the boxes, you've probably seen from various previous clips, so sitting out in the front yard here for the next day or two, it'll fully charge that battery up 100%. This battery box too, worth noting, this was from Kmart. It's a very generic brand. Just about every 12 volt supplier has a battery box the same as this, be it the notoriously well-known Kings of Adventure or XTM, I think BCF, all those, Anaconda, they all do a battery box like this. Righto. Put your 2 positives back on like so. Plug the charger back in, that's that. As I said, over the Christmas break I might even get into this wiring, just try and sort it out a little bit more, get it a bit neater and shorter and tidier. That's that on. Washer and nut. Probably I'd even prefer to put a proper nut on there that you actually do up with a spanner. We'll pop the fuse back in. So those solar panels should be kicking in now because we've got a bit of sunlight left in the day. That's that. And then it's just a matter of the fridge. Yeah, so we're at 12.5 now. As I said, the sun's way over the back of the house, but it's still on those panels a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if we get any charge into those this afternoon, but I'll check it out tomorrow anyway. I'll come back out, have a look while it's in full sun all day. But done. New battery in. Looks like the fridge is cycled on, because there's a bit of 12.4, so there's a bit of voltage down in that, which the fridge is on the other side there in the other box. So fingers crossed, I'll come out and check on that tomorrow anyway, and I'll finish the clip after that. Awesome. Thanks guys, I'll catch you tomorrow.
The next day.
So there we have it folks, the battery is in. It looks like it's fully charged up overnight. It was at 12.5 when I first put it in, and now it's at 13.3, 13.4. That's at the battery. The voltmeter on the other side of the box will register slightly higher because that's after the C-Tech, I think from memory, the way I wired it up. But either way, yeah, it's over 100% and she's good to go. So I'll test it out with some LED strip lights through the night and just see how the capacity is, how it holds, etc. So yeah, super stoked. Thanks to my wife and daughters for getting that for my birthday. That's just awesome. So look forward to really testing it out when I'm out in the bush with our next camping trip. So thanks a lot for watching. Just a short one, this one, but really appreciate all the support. Check us out on all the socials, and as we always say, stress less, camp more. Thanks a lot guys, and all the best for the new year. Cheers. Catch you on the tracks.